All right, we're back this week on I'll See You in Help. Just want to make a quick announcement. We got a YouTube channel.
Whoa, things are really looking up for us, guys. Yeah. We are in possession of a Gmail account, so
Yeah, sparkling, crystal clear quality.
Filmed right in Cole's living room.
Yeah.
In case you guys are like, wow, this is really professional. It's probably recorded in a studio. Yeah. It's not at all. It's
fucking cat posters and shit behind us.
Yeah. In case you just wanted
Cole's
to look into our eyes.
And sweatpants.
Yeah. really takes away from the magic of how the podcast is made. In case you
mustard and shit on our shirts.
Yeah. No, look into the slaughterhouse that is how this podcast is made.
14 beers on the table.
Yeah. And you're like, what? This isn't professional at all.
Yeah. So if you want to subscribe to us, just search up I'll See You in Help in YouTube and join us.
Join us.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what are we doing this week?
So this week we're doing a MGTOW.
Okay.
Which is an acronym for Men Going Their Own Way. And
Men going their own way?
Yeah.
I've heard of the men going their own way thing.
What is that?
It's just kind of like it's like an online community of men who have decided to...
There is nothing good that has ever started with the sentence "an online community."
Always goes bad. 100%. Where it's like, no, it's just a group of men online.
It's a group of men.
They just love playing poker and stuff. They
get
just
a bunch of men together, and no one has to see your face. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah. It's really the worst
recipe for chaos.
Yeah, so it's just a community of men who have decided to walk away from relationships, marriage.
I like how they think that it's their decision and not every woman's decision. They're like, no, I decided to walk away from them. I think every woman in your life decided to walk away from
men
you.
who have decided to pay $4,000 in alimony a month.
Yeah.
See the kids on weekends.
Yeah, it's the same with like incels and stuff. They're like, this is my call.
No, incels.
The incels are different.
It's involuntary. These are like voluntary.
I feel like being 300 pounds is also pretty
So
voluntary.
do they not have sex? Like they don't even have sex. They don't fuck anybody.
Some do, but if you do have sex, they prefer just to pay for it and treat it as a transaction.
Look at it.
It's one of the most horrific things I've ever heard. That's awful. I prefer to.
Well, I just found out I was part of a community, so I feel great. I mean, I apparently have like a new group I can go hang out with, so this is good.
Yeah.
Why do they do it?
They just feel like they've been screwed over too much by our, they call it a gynocentric world, where...
very subtle and nuanced way to go. So what do they mean by gynocentric world, in case it isn't exactly what you think it means?
Yeah, it's just so they live in a world catered to women, where women have all the power.
Oh,
and
yes.
So,
yeah, that's what I think when I watch the news. 100%. Don't you hate when you're on the way over here and women pat you down and push you around and you're walking home at night and a gang of women follows you and chases you home? That I've had it up to here. So, listen, somebody needs to speak for our people.
That being said, when we are at a bar at 1:30 in the morning and get blasted by ourselves, so it certainly feels like women run the world. when I'm sitting there getting drunk with you, not going home with anybody. I'm
Yeah, they say they have no need for female companionship.
Well, that sounds like something that someone who has a need for female companionship would say. And the more someone talks about how they don't need something, they need it. You know, they're like, I don't even need to drink. I just have fun. I'm like, you need to be blackout drunk.
Fucking coke.
Yeah.
Crack cocaine.
Yeah, and so this is on their like Wikipedia page, and so take the term men going their own way. So one must consider from what and why. The answer, women and their vile manipulation of the world and how that manipulation adversely affects men.
I like how vile manipulation just became like, hey, can you hang out with my friends on Saturday? And you're like, I have had enough of women and their vile manipulation of this planet.
You should stop drinking so much. Your vile manipulation of my life.
Such an intense... I think the thing is, when you don't get laid, you become just an intolerable human.
Well, this isn't guys who don't get laid, because this is not incel people. This is this is a different thing. So this is guys who
but if you have to pay for sex every time, you're not getting laid.
No, they pay for sex just because they don't want to interact.
Yeah,
with
this is
women
like this is like older like divorced husbands. Yeah, think like divorced husbands and like
it's mostly divorced men who've just got like when they got divorced, they got like their money, their house, their children taken from them.
Yeah.
And so
man.
I'm kind of
Code man. Yeah.
All right, that kind of makes me a little pro men going their own way, to be honest.
I could
Get
see,
your- get your house taken away.
emotionally. Listen. Anyone who's gone through a rough breakup has become this guy for at least a week. Has been here at least for a week where you're like, I'm done. It's
Shit is
fucking awful.
gynocentric.
Yeah. Where you're, I don't know if I've ever taken it to a worldwide philosophy on
Well,
where
usually
women were behind 9/11 or something like that.
yeah.
But,
So usually you have friends in that week that are like, no, just get back out there. Probably, like
people don't tell you to get back out there. What you need to do is see. I'm like a great
But
post-breakup buddy.
these people find like this community online, and that's what they just see other men that have done the same thing, and it's like a
Well, it's
they
because
just
you're
keep.
letting like that just pure testosterone, stupid male party just drive the whole thing.
they just keep contributing.
I think it's just hate and spite. I don't even know if it's testosterone. I just think
You don't think that's
I think you're
you
just
don't think
bitter.
it's a very male thing?
No,
to be
it's
like,
very male,
People are like, yes,
but-
you broke up with me, and so the world is gynocentric. It's all bullshit. I'm just gonna do that for the next fucking.
I felt those moments of defeat. I mean,
But you move past it. You don't let that.
I
Just
mean,
drive
I've
you.
moved past it emotionally, but not literally. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have some evil philosophy, but yeah, I mean, the first person I was with after my girlfriend was someone I had to pay, so.
Was it really?
I mean, yeah.
It was a dominatrix, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's not the same.
But you're paying somebody.
Yeah, but she's not having sex with you.
Yeah, but,
Dominatrix isn't prostitution, really.
not legally, but it's not.
It's
No,
basically
not,
yes.
no.
Come on.
It's not. It's,
If I paid Cole to spank me, is that prostitution?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's something worse than prostitution.
yeah, I feel like your parents would be more ashamed about that than if you paid like a hooker on the south side.
It's
So you
all,
don't think?
I think it's also weird to like lose in probably one aspect of your life, like divorce court, and then take that and translate it to the whole world is like now run by women.
Well, it is a little
Yeah,
shitty that the law can say you lost in this breakup. That a judge can be like, no, you are a dick.
Yeah.
She's right.
No, they're like, yeah, no, you 100%. You like officially have lost the
It
argument.
was your fault.
You just,
A
the
jury
the
of your
jury decides
peers.
you just should have taken out the trash more.
12 people were like, no, yeah, you're kind of a shitty dad.
Yeah. No, that's a hard moment. I mean, I just think it's this kind of sounds like something like I can't imagine like a grown man. Yeah, I can. Yeah, never mind. Yeah,
What do you mean? This is
Yeah, 100%.
something that only a
I've met
grown
this.
man-
These people are my fans. These people are probably going to headline this group.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they say that at the very core of MGTOW is having one's eyes open
Is
to
it
the
pronounced MGTOW? Is that how they
So is
pronounce
this like
it?
Asian or something? Like
No, it's an acronym MGTOW,
Men
men
going
going
their
their
own
own
way.
way. And it's just pronounced
you say it very
MGTOW.
spiritually every time you say it too. You're like
MGTOW.
understanding MGTOW, and you're like give it as if it's like a beautiful documentary that goes to the mountains and it's just men alone, and you're like, "Welcome to Utopia, brother."
Welcome to Big Town.
It's just like us
Walk
walking
in,
over there.
Start weeping. She's gone, brother. She's gone.
No one can introduce you to their parents here. You're safe.
Yeah, they say at the very core of MGTOW is having one's eyes open to the truth of women, their manipulation of the world, and how all the world has an objectively observable bias against men.
Okay. Well, that's a little. I think in Afghanistan, they're pretty pro men. I think pretty pro men in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the ban on women traffic is pretty
And
pro
to-
women.
And to warn other men against the savagery the gynocentric world has for the innocent.
Innocent.
I can imagine this being written just on an air mattress as he's giving away everything, and he's like, I need to warn them about the savagery. The whole, because that is an objectively false statement.
But you think about it, and this would, I mean, when I'm sitting there like in a motel because my house is like okay, Jeff Bezos lost $70 billion.
Oh yeah, she's the richest woman now.
I would be like,
just
this
because
is the most gynocentric thing that has ever
Yeah,
happened.
I
to me.
mean, so you can complain. Listen, it's almost like hating women is one thing, but saying that the world is suited for women is just insane and patently false.
You don't think the world is? Why do they keep using the word gyno? Is that a real word, gynocentric?
That's also
yeah,
just dumb.
like a gynecologist. It just means women. Like
Oh, I know
It's like
what
somebody
it means.
just like it's like a Nazi-esque. Someone just took like Jews and put women in, and that's kind of their philosophy.
That's true. That pretty much every single one of these crazy things, you just substitute Jews, black, a Negro-centric, a Jew-centric,
Yeah,
a
it's always this other
Gino-centric.
group that runs everything
Yeah.
that doesn't do shit. It's like you can't even 60 years ago couldn't even work legally, and you thought that they run the world. Like, what are you talking about? So, yeah.
It is like a fairly big thing. Like just the subreddit has around 80,000 subscribers.
80,000 people.
I've heard
Yeah.
about it a lot. Yeah, there's like meetups and shit like that.
It's been on the
What do you think
news.
these meetups are like? To be fair, I think there's some pretty fun riffs. But
I mean, to be honest, yeah, I've drank with these people at a bar. It's fun. It's fun hang.
is it just us? Are we officially part of a meetup?
But not men going their own way.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm not. I didn't want to go my own way, but I think I have.
And they're part of the overall the manosphere.
The manosphere. What are all these terms? Is there a syllabus or something where I get my vocab words?
So we've already covered kind of one part of the manosphere. Like pickup artists are one part, and then there's incels, and there's men rights activists, and then MGTOWs, and those are like the main.
This is a sphere no one should enter.
You don't believe in the men's rights guys?
Huh? We're fine. Yeah, I believe in it. If we are okay. We got them all.
It is fun that their rights like, hey, you should stop like raping us, and we're like, yeah, and they should stop like getting my car.
Yeah. It's yeah, I think men have won out. That's a battle that put a check mark on that. I think we're doing okay.
We're fighting. We're oppressed, according to them.
Men are oppressed.
That's what they say.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't believe so?
Not even just physically, we have a better deal.
Why do you say that?
No, do you remember bleeding from the dick once a month? Does that ever happen to you? No.
But so yeah, they're part of the manosphere, but they're not. There's no real overlap because they say they're not men's right activists because they recognize that these things exist, the disparities towards men, but they don't do any activism towards it or do any protest or anything. They just kind of take their ball and go home. So they say
That's the easiest way to know that you're not actually oppressed. Really, yeah, I'm just gonna, I just ignore it.
Well, it's also like, can you imagine these weird, like, elder manosphere meetings where it's like, we need to go into battle and save our people. And they're like, no, we'll just get prostitutes and be on our way. We don't want any trouble. The women are too savage, young one. You'll lose.
Savage ways.
They're like, God damn it. Who are you if we don't fight?
Do they? They took you.
They took your house. It's just Bezos being like, I can't go on. Half your fortune.
Your prized baseball collection. She threw it away.
How many mansions do you have now, Bezos? Only 5? Everything is gone from you.
Do you think he got bad into that deal?
Yeah.
You think so?
what do you mean the bad end? How would he have gotten
I'm
the
saying,
good
do you
end?
think people are like all up in arms like, oh, Jeff Bezos guys, but it is like, I mean, 70. It's 70 billion away from 100 billion. You still got.
No, he's beyond.
I mean, he's still fine.
But it's still
That's
like,
beyond fine. It's you're several nations.
yeah, no. I mean, if anything, the real question is why are we not pillaging Jeff Bezos?
Yeah,
out?
what
The real question
yeah,
is
right,
why
yeah,
are we
we-
sitting here and not all sharpening pitchforks and stabbing Jeff Bezos for killing American?
We all should have gotten a piece of the fucking.
Yeah,
vote.
yeah. I was like, wait, she's giving me $70 million.
Where the fuck's
Oh,
my
which, like,
chunk?
he still has $70 million. What? Because he figured out people want to order shit online? Kill him. Kill him. Yeah.
Where's my chunk?
Yeah. I mean, him and his wife, they were both hedge fund managers or investment bankers beforehand. So I mean, before they were fun. I mean, she's probably just as bad as he is, to be honest.
Well, it's also
So-
like there's nothing bad about being an American innovator, But
I just find it kind of a little weird that now, like the woman with the most wealth in the world has it just through divorce.
yeah,
which
that's
is
kind of hilarious. Yeah. I
It's-
mean, that's kind of that. If you're telling someone, it's like, what do you do to be a successful woman? Just like, well, marry a successful man, be so unbearable that he would pay half of his fortune for you to be gone, and then you'll just be like, that's the ceiling.
yeah.
Like they talk about the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling is you can have half of whatever the most successful man has as long as you are just off. Like, think about, could you imagine someone being so awful? You'd be like, here's 3 countries.
She could have been.
Just leave me
They were
alone.
married for a long time,
Yeah,
long?
but dude, I'd
Like
make
20 years?
20 plus years or
If
so.
someone was trying to take like $200 from me, I'd make it work. I'll tell you that right now. I've had a lease that I signed, and I was like, listen, I'm just gonna
Work this shit out.
Yeah.
But he has like 70 billion left. I'm sure. I mean, it's like whatever.
He has, yeah,
At least,
69
to
more
him, that's
billion
not-
than
yeah,
anyone,
that's not
more
even
than
a
anyone
fucking-
ever needs.
Yeah. But so anyways, yeah, they're not part of the men's right activists. They hate the pickup artists
Why do they hate the pickup artists?
because
I like that there's like clashes between the clans and shit.
I want to comment. I'm like, guys, you're all pathetic. Just unite because you're all awful.
of course, the
people.
pickup artists have been at war with the incels since the Battle of Waterloo in 2014.
The one 4chan post truly decided to. There's a prophecy that one loser will come. Unite the worlds. We can take back, save our people. It's just like one sad incel that's like, pickup artists, manospheres, incels. We have to
They
unite.
divide our people. They preach hate.
It's just like, it's just one guy.
He will lead the 5 armies and take
Just one
back
guy
what
who like
ours.
defeats Oprah in a debate, and they're all crying. They're like, the chosen one. The prophecy is true. He has come. He is among us. Yeah, it's just like guy wakes up in the middle of the night. Like, I felt his presence. Our savior has been born.
Alert the elders. he's here.
he's born in a hospital and all the women in the hospital just die. The second he's
It's
born.
like it burns to the touch.
Where was it? It was Kansas. Kansas City.
Yeah, no, we have to save him. Yeah, and it's like Terminator. It's just like it's just Hillary Clinton running with driving with a machete to kill him.
But I just want a normal life. We all did, boy. We all wanted a normal life.
Someone destined for greatness.
You felt it when you were 6 years old on the playground and she got the ball that was rightfully yours. you knew it was your destiny.
Listen, there's a million minivans out there that belong to men. You could take the half of the house back. You could take it back, goddammit.
Yeah. So they hate pickup artists. This is what they said about them. They said, it seems to me that it is the epitome of pussy pedalization.
Where are these terms coming from? I like how they're all so unfeeling, but then they become poets. When it's time to hate women, they're like gynocentric pussy pedal. Like, these are kind of
So they
creative
say,
terms.
it seems to me that is epitome of pussy pedalization to make the penetrating of a likely disease-ridden hole with your penis the goal of your life,
Jesus fucking Christ.
then proceed to sink hours and thousands of dollars in it. To me, that is to me, that is madness.
That is the crazy way to talk about like going to a party and talking to a woman.
Yeah.
Talking to someone for 30 minutes.
When I hear all of this, I'm like, just call her. You know, I'm like, she'd take it. It's like disease-ridden hole, but like, if in the middle of this, someone like knocked at the door, and you're like, and Melissa's like, I'm sorry, Jeff. She'd be like, you are? You know what I mean? Just stupid fucking disease-ridden, and then you're just like on a phone call, and it's just like, I think we should work things out. You're like, yeah.
Dude, and that is like such a because the more you go for it and the less sex you're having and the less you're coming, and it's that buildup of just semen at the start.
They
it's
come
gonna
all the
get
time.
Crazier and crazier. What do you mean?
They're not no fap. They masturbate all the time.
But even I mean,
Yeah,
just
but
the-
it's, yeah.
like
but,
the law when you're like 900 days into like not sleeping next to a person and you're just fucking disease ridden fucking hole just in your brain.
yeah, I do think you should legally be required to jerk off like at least 3-4 times a week, just to be a human, for a man in society.
Well, they
these,
jerk.
These
They
guys
just-
have no problems with that.
Do they masturbate to
Yeah,
porn?
but something's
do
going on.
do they watch porn?
Yeah.
But also, like, if you're so bitter, you refer because, like, I mean, this is gonna be controversial, but women are people, right? And it's just you got fucked over by another person. Some people are great, some people are bad, and it's like ideally you should just find someone that like what you want to find in a woman is a man that you hang out with and have sex with. My ideal woman is just a man, I guess, but.
Yeah. And so they also say about pickup artists, they say, yeah, you guys think you manipulate women to bed them. And even then, Do you really believe that you can manipulate a creature that evolved to manipulate?
Okay,
Oh
this is
fucking God.
insane.
That's like some alien level shit.
Again, it's like I just want to show him pictures of like them at the beach. And I'm like, was this not fun? Did you not have a good time? Because like it's also all this like creature that evolved to manipulate. I'm like, that's the mother of your kids, you loser. You know what I mean?
Plus, it's like eventually, like these guys do have kids, so
Like a creature that wiped your ass when you what?
Yeah, do you not have a mom?
They also have daughters. Like I don't know how they could be raising their daughters.
Yeah. No, that's Can you imagine? Is that part of the meetings where it's like, some of you I know have birthed the enemy? Who here? Who has a daughter? It's like they throw some guy in the circle. It's like, it was her sweet 16. You did what? You threw a celebration for the age that is prime manipulation age. Burn him.
Dad, can I have a hug? I'm not gonna let you manipulate me, you disease-ridden hole.
Yeah, it's also a thing where it's like, I mean, listen, I like hanging out with my friends with the next guy, but I get tired of hanging out not with old guys all the time, not just because of like a sexual thing, but it's like, yeah, it's like the same.
You guys got a fucking bored. We say the same shit. We're kind of just saying the same thing over and over again.
Have you not had a fun conversation? If you're dating someone, weird opinion, you should like them. You should hang out. You should have fun conversations. It should be a good time. And I think it's like, how bad? I just want to see the argument that led to like a creature that has been designed to manipulate. Because again, I think any man is lying to themselves if it never everyone. You've emotionally been there for like a minute. You've been there for like a minute on a bad day after she throws a glass past your head, and you go to the bedroom and you're like, they were designed to manipulate.
They were designed.
Boy. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely but you work yourself out of it. But it's this is.
I mean, this is straight up.
This guy needs a hug.
You replace this with Jew. This is like a straight up Hitler speech.
Yeah.
A creature.
Well, it's also like
a creature that was designed to invade.
I just know that this was like the result of some sort of seriously fucked up. Like he comes home, brought her flowers, and he's like, Jeff, what's Jeff Cars doing in the drive? You son of you were designed to manipulate my best friend.
A Karen that was designed to manipulate and rape the soul. Whose only purpose is to destroy.
Yeah. And they say, so they think that the pickup artists are just changing themselves into like what women want instead of like being themselves. You know?
Yourself is this.
Yeah, who would want to be that?
Why the fuck would you want
to? Then don't be that.
Are there gay men who are part of this?
No.
It's all about not interacting with women.
So it's about relationships. Also, what do you mean? How do they have you gotta have like a fucking job where you like go to what do you mean I don't interact with women?
They don't talk to the women at their work. They're not in the same room with them. They don't.
Well, I mean, that'd be pretty, what sort of weird, like ISIS way is that to live your life? Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
One guy said his job told him to go on a trip to like a business trip with 2 other women, and he refused to do it.
Wait, why?
Because he was afraid. Well, they're very afraid of false rape accusations. They were afraid that.
That's not entirely founded.
So he was afraid of that. Plus, he was also afraid that he would do all the work and the women would claim all the credit.
I don't think is that a stereotype? Because I don't think that is.
That's what they say. They're a creature that was designed to manipulate.
Yeah, they think women just use men either for their utility or their finances. So that's all that women.
Well, the thing is people do that. Like that, they're not wrong in that they're not wrong in that people are shitty.
If I was on the trip with you, I'd do the same shit. Yeah, I'd steal your fucking credit.
Yeah. So I think the problem is like people. You shouldn't hate a group or a gender, but you are right in that there is a lot of people that suck, and you will probably marry one of them, right? And then it will probably be an awful time. But the correct response isn't like Sally from work's just gonna fucking completely screw me over, and it's like. The only response I could say is like, just get over it, man. It's like, calm down.
Would you refuse a business trip with 2 women?
No.
Come on. Would you be afraid of false rape accusations?
Okay, well, let's look at a picture of my face in court, and it was like, yeah, I could, his strength was so overbearing, I couldn't push him. The court would laugh you out if you thought that a malnourished screech really was the thing. That no, I'm not. I don't think anyone think I have enough confidence to rape someone, to be quite honest.
Yeah. So they say that feminists should actually like their movement.
Why?
Well, they say, feminists don't like being catcalled in the street, and they say, no problem. We won't catcall you. We won't even look at you. We won't ask you. We won't even talk to you. And then they have like a list of like things they don't do. And they don't live with women. They don't work with them. They don't do business with them. They don't hire women. They don't.
Is this just like a plane full of people flying to Syria? Is this who joined ISIS? Like they just look at ISIS.
The thing is, like, there is a place where you can do.
I'm like,
First
guys,
off, you just fuck men. You can do that if you want to. But also, there are places
you
where you
really
can
do
live
that.
like
Like
this.
you can if you want to, but you can't really like do that.
You don't.
Yeah, if you're not attracted to men,
Yeah,
you
sure,
can't.
sure you want.
switch
Okay,
it off.
yeah, you're not gonna enjoy it, but also, would you enjoy living like this? You might as well.
Yeah, they don't buy from women-owned businesses. They don't sit on the bus next to women. They don't ride on an Uber with a woman driver. They don't accept rides from female passengers if they're an Uber driver.
Well, this is like a really insane way to live your life. This is like some intense. Also, yeah. Saudi
It's
Arabia.
fun to imagine.
This is all a pamphlet for Saudi Arabia.
It's fun to imagine a bunch of these guys like invading and like straight gentrifying a neighborhood like Boys Town.
Yeah.
Because it's only men who live there.
Well, I just don't understand because that's like a very hard way to live your life.
Yeah, don't be served by a waitress.
Yeah, they don't see female doctors. They don't look at them. They don't talk to them. And whenever they can, they alienate their own mothers, aunts, and sisters.
Again, how bad was this breakup? Where you're like, I
gotta
want
watch
to demonize my own mother.
Yeah, I gotta watch out from those fake rape accusations from my grandma. can't be alone with her on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Can you imagine someone being like, so you think you're over Karen? You're like, yeah, I am. But there's a female waiter, so I'm going to need to leave this restaurant real quick and go. There's actually we have got a great bunker downtown that serves some pretty good.
Yeah, do we have to do this? I have like a job, man. I can't do this shit.
Oh, wait.
I mean,
so
you
I
have a
to,
job.
Wait.
You just don't interact with them more than you have to.
What the? I have women in my life. I talk.
Well, just don't talk.
Oh wait,
yeah. I work customer service. You fucking monster.
I mean, you can
shit.
talk to them in like when you're required to, but it's like don't go out of your way to.
This shit says don't do business with women. That's what that says.
Like if you owned your own business, if you had a choice,
Yeah, if you had any sort of power, just don't. But you don't have that.
Are you gonna be able to do this shit?
Avoid women?
Don't speak to women like at work and shit?
Fortunately, they've been doing the job for me. This is real. I'd like to think that my week will drastically change. I mean, I have a lot of like female friends, but are
you gonna cut them off for the week?
I'm sure they would benefit from a call from not having a call from me, from not having to lie and be like, "Fuck, it's this guy again," and answering, and they're like, "What happened this time?" But for the most part,
reading this list for such like a self-reliant, like I'm gonna rely on myself. I'm not gonna be in relationships with women. This is like a lot of your whole life is kind of focused around women now.
Yeah, because there's two fucking genders and you have to interact with them.
Like you're also looking up like, oh, is this a woman-owned business? Oh, is this like a woman drive? Like, there's a lot.
You're not over it. You're I'm gonna
take that $12 Uber charge so I can find a male driver instead.
Yeah, I mean, you're not over something if you're intensely obsessed with it and have a new ideology where you hate and avoid an entire gender.
Well, they don't hate them. They just avoid them. It's men going.
No,
it's not
they
anti-women.
They hate them.
It's like the white supremacy. It's not the white supremacy.
Describe someone as a disease.
It's like I'm not anti-black. I'm pro-white.
When I looked at their forums, one of their most popular forum topic was a thread full of pictures of women who had hit the wall, which is what they call when women start not being attractive anymore, and they would post before and after pictures of these women.
Jesus.
And they would celebrate them losing their beauty.
This is the AndrewDiceClay.net forums.
And that was the most popular thread on the forum. So it's like that's a lot of energy to like searching up before and after pictures of women just to celebrate in them losing what they consider their only value that they have. It's like weird.
To be fair, if one of those girls was a hot girl from my high school that never gave me the time of day, I'd be like a little bit like, fuck yeah. Yeah, I mean, there would be a little moment of like, yeah, you're just like the rest of us now, buddy.
Yeah, dude, not skinny enough for me now, huh? But when I see you at a bar.
Ooh, who's a sweaty, nervous idiot now? But
wait, you scrolled past something. What is sperm jacking?
Looking at my note, I will eventually introduce
question the man.
I want to see what the fuck it is.
Don't look ahead at my notes, dude.
I'm not gonna look at your notes.
But okay, since you brought up sperm jacking, they say sperm jacking is when women will. So when you have sex with them, you discard your used condom in a garbage can. They'll go into the. They're worried about this, like it happens that often. They're worried that the women will go in there and take the used condom and then impregnate themselves so they can eventually get your money.
Yeah, but that's something that happens to like an NBA player, not Dave from
Dude,
accounting.
nobody wants more of whoever this is. Like, whoever this is, nobody's like, let me get, wants to have sex with you, wants to be around you. Because again, people are people. People like to have sex with cool, fun people. You're none of that. No one, if anything, she would be like, yeah, a hooker would be like, no, you're going to need to throw that in the trash can. I don't even want to be near what you're made of.
Yeah.
Okay?
They say, guard your sperm like Fort Knox.
Guard, jeez. They think that they come gold. They think that their semen is on the same quality as gold.
I think your Cheez-It stained T-shirt and body odor is guarding your sperm pretty
Can you
goddamn.
imagine like coming in a gym socket, throwing it in a safe, and then just being like, they're never going to get me?
Yeah.
Guard your sperm.
And
I really think you could destroy this entire movement. I'm going to show up.
Eventually, they'll destroy themselves, right? If they are
They
actively,
would stop there. They're not going to breed.
yeah,
They would die
they're
out.
not breeding.
No, but you could just go. I go and I just stand up and I'm like, all right, I don't want to alert anybody, but all your ex-wives are here. And then they're like, what? What did you do? And then just all come in, we have an apology, then we just go back to being goddamn people, okay?
Well, what is their...
Also, is this sponsored by Jack Daniels? Is this entire ideology sponsored by Jameson?
So one of their tips for guarding your sperm.
Brought to you by Jaeger. Jaeger.
fucking sponsored by like Slim Jims and shit.
One of their tips for guarding
Guard your sperm like you guard your Slim Jim.
one of their tips for guarding your sperm is to placing hot sauce in the condom before discarding it to kill the sperm. So that way,
Wait, does that even work? Is that a thing that works?
That sounds like some hood science.
Sounds like it doesn't fight.
Yeah.
so that way when the woman picks it up to insert it in herself, she actually just burns her cooch instead.
That
of
is one of the most horrific. Also, she wouldn't be like, what the... That's going to lead to a discussion, which is like, why is there hot sauce in this condom?
Also, it's red now, like the inside the condom. I doubt she's gonna put that in.
Who's booby trapping their cum-filled condoms where it's like, yeah, and in case they do that, shards of glass. It's like, you know that scene in like a spy movie where you come down? So they think they have sex with the prostitute, and then afterwards, a team of them is going to come. There's like lasers all around the used condom.
Also, where do you get the time to have sex, then take your condom off, and then put a little hot sauce in it before you put it in the garbage? Like
I feel like if I was a hooker, I'd be like, you're paying me $50 more just because I had to see that. Just because I had to see whatever the fuck you are.
That's what I was asking. What is their... Is their end goal like basically like the human species dies out because like men and like is their end goal like men and women just separate?
You're thinking about it like it's a logical thing, and I think that's.
I'm trying to understand these people.
All these arguments.
I'm trying to understand what we have to be for.
Most ridiculous ideologies are just an emotional argument. They're not an intellectual argument. So I mean, like Trump, ISIS, these things. They're hurt. Okay, look in between the lines of like creature that has evolved to manipulate, where it's like, gee, I thought we had something really special, and then she just threw me. Like it's just they don't actually want to live like this. You're mentally ill. You found a group of other people. You're super bitter, and then you found the internet that is like giving you all these like facts, and you're just gonna keep getting into it, and not getting any better.
They've really gotten to you, huh?
Who?
You.
What if I took my mask off and I was a woman? It's just the lights come on. Cole's like, get to the bunker. We're like, no. It's just a bunch of feminists around Cole's apartment. His girlfriend sold us out.
So if you do like look at these formulas, these Reddit posts, most 90% of for it being like men going their own way, 90% of it is just kind of like hating women.
90% of it. I think almost, I don't even, what's the other one? But what is the other 10%?
And so they address that. And so like they say that when people ask them, like, how come all I see are negative threads and complaints about women? They say, they make the analogy, that's basically you saying, like, I don't understand how this hospital is good for health because all I see are diseases and injuries here. And so they're saying this is a hospital, a place to heal you and send you on your way. And as such, it is a place where you'll see ugly things. you'll see disgusting things and you'll see painful things. And if you go through the treatment, you too might become one of those disgusting things. But those that have been around for the hospital long enough,
eventually, you're referring to a Reddit forum as a hospital.
So yeah, So when someone's in the middle of a subway, just like, and this place is a hospital, and as you're like, no, I'll take Mayo. And this place is a healing place.
So they say when you've been around there long enough, eventually you become a physician of the male soul, and you.
They think they're a physician of the male soul.
That's pretty good. To be honest, that's pretty good. Like album titles and like band names.
No. These are
coming
like,
out of this.
The
Physician
thing
of the
is,
male soul.
Dude, you can get laid. Like you're writing like really good,
fucking
like
poetry,
nice
right?
poetry where he's just like a fat guy alone, and he's like, "And I, a lone physician of the male soul." Yeah.
A Creature Born to Manipulate is like the hardest fucking album I've ever fucking heard.
So that's their excuse to why 90% of the posts.
So
are just
what is their
women
anecdote
hating.
other than giving someone? You're just because I mean. So, like, if you're afraid or anxious of something, right, and you go to therapy, they kind of tell you to, like, expose yourself to that slowly so you eventually get over that.
Yeah.
This is literally telling you to the opposite. Like, this is training you to be insane. Because if you're over a bad relationship, probably in another one, you probably come to terms with what went wrong. This is saying, hate that group of people. Avoid that group of people. Dedicate your life in some weird religiosity towards, an objectively false. I can't even imagine being in a debate with someone where I'm like, yeah, we got to do something about climate change. He's like, and the fact that women run the world and have evolved to destroy it.
Yeah. And it's a very misogynistic place.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, where are you getting that from, Cole?
So,
not anti-woman, I'm pro-male.
So their basic conception of a woman is a creature looking to use a man for their money or the utility. They're always looking to move on to higher valued men. They have no moral qualms about cheating. And this is what I read. Well, this is just what
I
one
feel like
post
some of that is resonating with you.
said.
Is that hit?
Well, I'm just, my eyes are watering a little bit. It's not it's just.
So this is what one guy said on the thing.
This is like a t-shirt that I'm hiding. I'm like, yeah. I'm the one who suggested Cole Red. I'm like, yeah, why don't we just go on the podcast? Read a bit, like just this wacky new idea I'm hearing, that's right.
Yeah. So he said, so I've been thinking and researching, and I have some theories. Women are obviously a flawed species. I could argue that God's mistake...
Can you imagine saying this to your girlfriend? Listen, I thought about what you said about me being a listener, and I've come to a conclusion. You're fundamentally flawed. Okay, now let's open and take it from there, and then, I think we could improve.
Yeah, he says, I could argue that God's mistake was the way he created women. Personally, if women were...
Like he also assumes that there's like a Christian God. He's like, Jesus died for my sins, and also women are one of the most evil creatures to ever exist.
He knows there's a Christian God because he's been to hell, which is how he lives in hell.
Yeah, he says, personally, if women were at least 25% more logical, could be satisfied, not nag and complain, not lie about something like rape, and loved men like dogs like people, maybe MGTOW wouldn't exist.
So you're saying you want a relationship with a dog, a being that I can punch in the face and will come to me the next day.
First, two ridiculous things that he basically just said, if women were men, then we'd like them. And then B, you compared them like, why can't women be more like, dogs? Like these adorable, things that don't do anything. I just feed them and then they love me unconditionally and they're essentially slaves.
That is a very man way to fix a problem. It'd be like, yeah, why can't it just be like a puppy or something?
I like how he assumed that like God made women and just kind of turned up the nagging thing like 25% more. Like that's just how...
He talks about his own relationship. Basically, he's like, and if they could not nag and complain and maybe let me watch the Jets game in peace,
maybe we'd respect him. Maybe if they didn't just go to whoever on the block, just
maybe if you understand, I give my brother money because I love him. I don't care if Cheryl needs money for prom.
Yeah, this really is going to turn to a slow poem. Like maybe, just like it just starts scrolling like a spoken word piece.
57 stanza, and maybe
it's like that. Yeah.
And so one I did see on the forum that one of these MGTOWs eventually got married.
Was he just completely shunned from the community?
Kinda, but there's also kind of like a weird insight onto like what they want in a woman. So he said he finally found the perfect woman, and first thing you got to do is look for a poor woman, He said he specifically wanted a poor girl because women with their own money are intolerable. He said his wife thanked him twice.
He thinks people are intolerant. He's like, people that have like a self-esteem and worth, awful to be around. You know what I want is just essentially a Thai woman. You want a slave. You want a slave. You're looking for to buy a person. Because all these people get like mail order brides from like a destroyed village somewhere.
It's also fun that she's like talking to her mom and shit. She's like, I think he's the one. And meanwhile, he's on it like, yeah, she's a poor dumb whore.
Yeah, so this is the pros. He gets home cooked meals. She keeps his house clean. She keeps his clothes washed. She waits on him hand and foot. She tells me she loves me at least 100 times a day.
Wait. Hold, don't fat. At least 100 times a day? That's almost every sentence. If you come home from work, that's like 4 or 5 hours before you go to bed. So 100. So in the morning, she's got to get at least 20 "I love yous" out. So it's like, wake up, I love you. Hey, do you want eggs? I love you. Also making these eggs. I love you. Here's your new shirt. Love you. These people are psychopaths.
Well, if we're being a little honest, that's maybe the most womanly thing they've ever said. I need someone to tell me I love you.
Yeah, that's like the most. Because before I kind of felt bad for him, but now I'm just like, listen, you got fucked over because you are an intolerable asshole. You know what I mean? Someone probably took half your shit because you're awful. Well, there's not enough of that said anymore that some people are awful and they suck. And a lot of them are in this thing. Like, I can't get laid. Yeah. No one wants to hang out with you, let alone have sex with you. What you know? And then, women have been terrible to me my whole life. Where's you in that? Where you think you have zero accountability for anything that's ever fucking happened to you?
Self-awareness. There's a lot of it.
Another one of his pros is that he's still getting sex anytime he wants. He says I can wake her up with my cock at 4 a.m. and she never complains.
So that's rape.
That is.
I could rape her and she doesn't.
It's just uncomfortable. This just makes me fucking uncomfortable.
What?
And then the cons
to go fuck a person who's not.
The cons of his relationship is that her cooking was terrible at first, but this is improving, possibly due to her age.
How old is she?
Like 20. She sometimes sings around the house, and she is tone deaf, and her expenses at first were quite high. I specifically wanted a stay-at-home wife, so naturally I had to cover those. Growing up poor, she needed clothes, makeup, hair stuff, and dental work.
It's like a doll.
Yeah. No, it's like you just brought...
This is a human woman who has like feelings on like politics and like movies and has things she cares about and people
sounds
she
like
loves.
You were struggling to say that women were people there for a second. Because
I was struggling.
You were coming up for examples like she probably has opinions about things like movies and
I was trying to think. I'm trying to think of things that people are into. I'm trying to think of things that people.
You're probably the same.
Maybe I'm feeling men going the wrong way. This is not like a bad setup.
This I think is the crux of how disturbing they are right here, though. Is that like that's not a relationship.
That's the ideal like wife for them.
That's
one of the pros is I can rape her. That's one of the pros.
He was like, it's great. I just have this human slave.
We also talk about anyone who uses the word cock. Just like in sentence.
Just intolerable.
It's like a fucking monster.
Well, it's also like, I don't know if I might be a romantic here, but again, I would like to marry someone I like to
have
hang
a conversation with. Yeah.
Yeah, that like we go do things together and have fun and enjoy life and be a I would like to maybe make a meal for someone. I don't want to just like fucking
to feel love.
I want to be hugged and shit. I don't really care if the socks are folded or whatever. I don't think like, dude, you can just you can pay someone to do that. And that's the thing is like, but that's just a sad life. Like you could have a prostitute and just
that's shitty. I don't know why you'd want to be like. What's the point of like come home to like a person I could fuck and then and I just sit there and like watch TV and she just like sits in the corner until I want to eat. What the fuck? What is that?
You're a psychopath. You know, that's just not fun at all.
Yeah, and so I guess the last thing that
how do you feel about being would you guys be like a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I want a job. I don't want to do things.
Like, would you still do comedy as a stay-at-home dad?
I want to do comedy, so I want to do that.
Well, yeah, but
saying it says let's assume you're making no money from comedy, but all the expenses. Let's assume 30 years from now things are exactly as they are now, except all the expenses are paid. She makes all the money, and I can like still just do stand-up and shit as like a hobby. Would I do that?
That'd be awesome, actually.
Yeah,
that kind of stay at home. Like,
it kind of is the best life. To be honest.
So is there like a way we could make this? yeah. I know, like they're trying to talk about. Here's what I hate about like that, like women take advantage of you or people take advantage of like welfare. I'm like, well, if you could do that, like why wouldn't you? Like if you like working hard is for stupid people. Like if you could just marry someone if I was dating someone,
That's anyone who's
out of
ever
my
been rich
league-
and successful. You just take advantage of shit until you can't
that
anymore.
woman is my hero who stole Jeff. That woman is a proletariat hero. She sucked $70 billion out of
fucking
a man's
incredible.
dick. There's gonna be statues of her everywhere. I want to like just. It's not for women, but people everywhere. That's like you can just fucking just have.
Just cheat. Cheat until you
I'm
don't get
men's
caught.
rights, and I think more men should go with people who are financially out of their league and get yourself in a position where I'm like, yeah, I'll make whatever the fuck you want.
Would you marry say you had a gay friend really into you, millionaire. Let's say net worth like 15, 20 million, and he really likes you to proposes to you.
See, the problem is I really want to pause and say no, but in my head I said yes so quickly it disturbed me. Like, right, yeah. The thing is, I grew up, I'm from a poor family. I'm willing to do it, cutthroat. Look at my bank account right now. I had to borrow money for an Uber home yesterday. Easily. A man who, $20 million, not all to me, because all I had to ride that out for a little bit, fucking pull like my hero, Elizabeth Wazos or whatever her name is, and just run out of there. $5 million, dude. We're recording this podcast with gold mics.
So I guess the final thing is children, which
Oh yeah, the fact that they're not able to see their daughter.
The human species.
well, I mean, like eventually these guys will have to die out because they're not breeding.
Do they want kids? What do they talk about?
No, they don't want kids. Like they say, think about it. Do you really want to bring another human to this shit show to be?
They're just so fucking bitter. It's just so bitter. Like, as someone who's been called a bitter man my whole life, I feel so much better about myself. Just as like, think about it. Do you want your kid to go through what you went through?
As your undergrad, you see what's up there. You want to bring them into this life?
Yeah.
to fight these mutants.
To be nagged, to be complained at day in and day out. If you truly love your son, would you ever do that? They take their kid out.
I was 15 years old the first time a woman yelled at me. And I promised myself I would never let another boy suffer that. Never again.
It's like Mice and Men where they take the son out to the back. He's like, I met a girl at school. They're like, what did I tell you, son?
Should I ask her out? You ask her out. Just shoot him.
Yeah. So they say the best way forward.
I want to meet the woman that did this to them. I want to. Can we have her on the podcast? I want to meet the ex-wife of like the leader, and she was like, "Yeah, he was a." Because think about. Can you imagine? You're sitting in some other dude's house. You won the divorce, and then you're like, "I wonder what Jeff's up to." And then you read a forum where he's like, "A creature born to manipulate, avoid all women." You would feel a sense of you won harder than anything ever. Where you're like, "Oh, he hates all women now." You fucking loser.
That makes okay. So, what do you think is the reason that? What is the reason that when certain men get divorced from women, this happens, but when two gay men get divorced, this doesn't happen?
I don't think there's the same because a lot of these people feel like their life gets ruined because they're now paying. Like,
I think it's because a man would
child
never.
support.
I think it's because a man would never be married to you for 30 years and then go, I'm entitled to half.
Well, no, the courts wouldn't look at that the same. They also like it's kind of recently that gay marriage was
I think I just haven't seen enough like gay divorce anger.
Like it's that's just kind of a recent thing.
But also, like I feel like the like
two men could,
like it's too rage.
Two
like,
men can settle the differences pretty easily.
Well, it's also like I just feel like it's just it's a classical man thing to do where it's like if you're heartbroken and not be like sad and upfront, you just channel it into rage and anger. This is all like this is all a covert operation.
A lot of that
yeah,
just like
because this is a very
midlife
sad,
crisis shit. So it's like
person.
I get into this, I get into golf, I become like super politically conservative, whatever the fuck it is. I'm channeling it into some bullshit.
Plus, you can't like demonize something that like is you at the same time. Like these
mean?
men aren't women, so they can say like all women are like this, but they can't say all gay men are like this because they're also gay men.
Yeah, you have to really focus on Kyle sucks. Kyle's a piece of shit. But like, and it's like I think these are hurt, probably mildly insane, terrible people. But like they just the way of expressing it has just become like
we should find a meetup and go to it.
I wouldn't be opposed. Just because it'd be, I mean,
That'd
weird.
Be great.
hilarious
So-
just to listen to whatever the fuck these people.
So they say the best way
I
forward.
think it is just an open mic also.
They say the best way forward, in fact, the only way we can survive birth rate decline, is to take reproduction away from women. They have ruined it. Ideally, women should be totally replaced by artificial wombs and sex robots.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So that's their ideal future.
The ideal
That's
future.
monstrous.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
the most horrific thing I've ever heard.
I get it. I just don't like. Wow, she must have been a real bitch. Like if it's just, she must have really fucking just been intolerable. Where you're like, the entire species should be eliminated. Can you imagine the last moment she like throws your stuff on the lawn? She's like, one day you're gonna be a box we have sex with. Damn it, we're gonna need.
I
you.
mean, the only way I can understand if, you take my dog in the divorce, I'm this. you take my fucking
Is that
puppy.
all the sex robot researchers are like, we're this close to saving our people. Soon. He's just like, a guy cries and he's like, it's almost over. Have faith, my son. He was like, she said she was going to text you this weekend. She never hit me back. Sir, we're close to a breakthrough. We never have to. Never again.
Would you ever use a sex robot?
No.
Why not?
Weird and awful.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
What about one of like the super? Say
That
it's
makes
like
it even weirder.
it's like 20
the
years from
more
now. It's one,
lifelike
of
it is, the weirder.
it's one of the super realistic ones.
I just don't want to be a person who has sex with a sex robot. Now, I do understand the hypocrisy and having someone beat me up for money. But in my head, I differentiate.
So you would never use a sex robot.
Can you imagine just that if you're self-aware at all, the moment of shame you would have coming in a fake Japanese toy, essentially?
Would you ever use a prostitute? Is it wrong to say use a prostitute? Would you ever use the services of a prostitute?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay, now second question. Say that prostitution is legal and also it's like $5. How often do you use prostitutes?
Probably in the middle of this podcast.
It's like-
I mean, probably
it's like-
in the middle of... What kind of dumb question is that? You just asked me, hey,
Would
if
you
you
use
could get
them-
laid a
you
lot,
don't-
would you get laid a lot?
Well, that's
just
not
what you-
getting laid. Getting laid is like you're convincing a woman to have sex with you. That is a business transaction.
But you got it. There's an emotional.
You wouldn't feel a sense of shame. What about you, Cole?
There's an emotional. You're skipping over what? There's an emotional component that a sad, lonely man feels that it's like it's not just about the horniness. It's also like they just want someone to be intimate with them in that way, and they can't get that otherwise.
So would you even use it for sex a lot? Would it be like half the time it's sex, half the time it's just like, yeah, it's like talk to me
I
for
mean, I
an hour.
talked to a friend who kind of gets a lot of escorts, and it was kind of a sack because he called me almost quasi bragging about it, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I only paid for like 30 minutes. She hung out with me for like 2 hours, and we were just talking and being like really cool." And I'm like, people just do that, dude. People just like meet people and have intimate moments. But he spent like $500. He was like, "Yeah, she's like cuddling with me and like doing all this like awesome." But here's the worst part of my head. I'm like, so like awesome. Do you won, bro?
You
You guys
fucking
an
got
awesome
it.
deal. Like, where do we sign? So I mean, I think there is. Yeah, there's some truth to that. I mean, that's like a sex robot. Like, that's just coming,
So you guys ready for this next week?
So wait,
Going
so-
your own
Yeah, what do we
way.
gotta
What do I
So
have to do
there's
that
no
won't put me in
fucking-
jail or watch?
Yeah, what are you talking
Just
about? Man?
try to avoid just interacting with a woman as much as you can.
Well, I think we do kind of. a
But
pretty good job.
I like have a job. I like have to speak to women. I like have.
Well, if you have to speak to them, that's fine. Just like
But in your head, know that
What
they're.
about if it's something like okay, so we live in a fantasy world here, but a woman's like, hey, Kenan, here's my number. do you have to like throw that away?
How dedicated are you to the podcast? That's the real question you're gonna have to. Okay, because the people of Canada, our loyal subscribers, listen to a dedicated, real, and if you're gonna be a fraud,
What do you do?
huh?
Yeah, what tomorrow night a girl you're at a bar and some girl's like, hey, you want to go home with me? And you're like,
I can't do that, but you know what you can do? Listen to I'll See You in Hell podcast available weekly on iTunes, Stitcher,
I'm
and
not
Apple
gonna be talking to you on the train, but you can listen to this nice
yeah,
pod
yeah.
for the 45-minute.
Also, I don't know, say I'm busy this week.
You gonna have the strength to do that? You gonna have the strength to do that?
I would do anything for our fans. I would do anything for all three of you guys
Oh,
who are now
shit.
subscribing to the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Or
check
now
out
coming-
the YouTube. Subscribe and like this shit, and leave some comments on the iTunes, and share it with friends
Yeah,
and family.
please rate
Force it
and
on your friends and family.
I want you to know something. If tomorrow a super hot girl comes up to me at any of these shows and wants to have sex with me, I would forgo that for you. So the
For the
least you
pod.
could do,
The least you people could
give us
do.
a 5-star review because I'm throwing my ass on the line. Now, to be fair, that has only literally in my life happened once. But that's the thing. I wouldn't take advantage of a shooting star for you people. So at least leave us 5-star review.
All right, yeah,
All right.
cool. We'll be back next week.
All right, so We're coming back after you guys went your own way.
The journey coming back.
Yeah.
Coming back from paradise.
How was the journey?
You know, I thought at first it was
you
going to
failed.
be, huh?
You went on a date.
We're gonna go on an arc here to that, okay?
You failed. No, I think our listeners need to hear the goddamn truth. Is that I committed to the fucking podcast, and for the first time,
you would have done it anyway.
And you went out of your way to intentionally derail the point of this podcast.
Dude, don't act like you not getting laid was a choice you made.
It was a choice I made. I did it for the pod.
That is a choice that the world made for you.
I did it for the podcast.
If when we were recording the podcast, a girl came in here, you would have hit on her.
I quit the pod. I quit the pod immediately.
Yeah. So I mean, don't come. For the first couple days, I thought were going to be way harder than they were. But
what do you mean?
Turns out, just like I got to avoid all women. But it turns out that's just like every other day of my life. I was just like, that's pretty much the same. Maddie wanted to hang out one day, and I said like, I'm doing a thing for the podcast, and I think she was just like, oh, why do I hang out with you? She was just like, this is wrong.
No, it was definitely a thing where I'd be at work like ringing up a customer and she wouldn't look me in the eyes and she'd walk away and I'd be like, solid. I did.
Yeah. Nailed that. Yeah. God, it's it takes a village. But.
Yeah. You're not supposed to do business with women. You should have like asked her to like hand her money to like someone else. And
that's fucking. I would have got fired. I would have got fucking fired.
Do the transaction that way.
The waitress at the restaurant last night.
Oh, did you do some shit?
What do you mean,
Did you like avoid a waitress or something?
No. So I know last week I said like listeners I would avoid all women, everything in the pot. Listen, I'm just a man. Okay, I got things are bad. All right, and what are you gonna avoid a shooting star when it comes your way? What am I supposed to do here? Listen, I love you guys, but I mean, come on. It's like all 300 of you. You're not enough. None of you guys are showing up.
Yeah, none of these people are fucking me. Not one of these
You're like,
people
oh, leave 5 stars. I'm like, how about you call Kenyon? How about you come over? So, So Cole's girlfriend set me up on a date, and it was surprisingly well. So
you said date like you're an alien, and you just learned what that word meant.
Yeah, a little bit. When she said like I want to see you again, I'm like I didn't realize dates had like sequels. Like I just thought there's a what you had one, and then you go home.
We'll talk about the date. The listeners want to know about your love life. How'd it go?
That was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Are you in similar stations in life, or? Well, should we start with what you should we start with what you do or what she did? Let's start with what you do. What do you do for work?
I'm a temp in an office, and I do local comedy around the nation.
What does she do?
She works in a lab trying to cure brain cancer.
What's the highest level of education that she has?
PhD.
I think it went well. I think you guys are going to be all right.
There was a moment where she's like, I went hungover to like work at the lab today. I'm like, you do realize you failing is still better than anything I've ever done. Like you at your lowest is still like, I'm trying to cure cancer.
Well, at least you being irresponsible was like, oh, what, I'm going to go hungover to my temp job. Her was like, oh yeah, I got to show up to work hungover and try to like cure cancer tomorrow.
No, but it's more like show up to work drunk and who cares if you miss like a vein on the mouse that you killed? Yeah, you can just try again. It's not.
Yeah, there was a little bit of deflecting. It's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, no, let's get back to you. Let's focus in on
Texas show chapter.
I'm like, Oma mater. My mater is treat other people the way you want to be treated.
He's a great listener. Yeah, it's almost like he was really interested in what I had
What do your
to say.
parents do? I'm like, the weather outside. Ridiculous.
So this week, men going their own way, surprisingly, was also the week of basically your first date, because you haven't had any real dates before this, right?
No, I've just been drunk.
You're gonna paint him like he's 13 years old. He's been in a relationship.
I lived with someone for a year and stuff, but it's never like we went out to a restaurant. It's like you're drunk at a house with.
Jesus Christ. Jesus. Yeah. So you failed.
Huh?
You failed.
How did I fail?
You went on a date. You specifically did not go your own way.
No, but I have been going my own way for the last 2 years, and nobody cared then. We could have recorded the pod any other week of my life, and we would have murdered. And then we had to strategically. I'm like, I'm not going to ruin this. It was like that Eminem song, you know. It's like once in a lifetime opportunity. I was just listening to 8 Mile outside. You
Gotta put everything on the line.
Yeah. She's just like, God, I think you talk too fast in your clip. I'm like, back to the lab again, yo. Goes gravity. So, yeah, I feel like Cole, because I was talking to Social last night, and Social said that you've been talking about this men go your own way for a while, and I kind of feel like this is
You've
something
been talking about that to your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like you're like, she just came up to Cole, he's like staring out the window, he's like, there are tales of some men, heroes, I'd say, who found a paradise, who paved a path to freedom.
Dude, it's like a get out.
Cole, what are you thinking about?
Like a get out moment where we walk in and his nose just starts bleeding. He's like, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know. I just find
You're trying to live vicariously through us this week. Is that all? You're like, how is it, guys?
No, they're just
salvation.
They're just very interesting people to go that far.
I wouldn't call them interesting.
No,
there are a lot of things, but
Jeffrey
listen,
Dahmer was
hating women is not interesting.
Yeah.
It's default.
but to go that far because of like one bad relationship. Like,
it's insane. No. It's insane. It's
Yeah.
not interesting.
It's interesting.
It's completely ridiculous, but it's not like, wow, that's fascinating how much you hate women.
But it's also like fascinating how much like their view of the world is so at odds with what the world actually is because of like a bad like I don't know. It's just so interesting.
Maybe you've never been in love that deeply if the breakup's so bad that you hate a group of people now. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's just you giving them that. We were talking about it last week about you giving them that. Obviously, like, have you guys been there where you have like, a post break where you have like that week or two where you're like, I fucking hate every single one of that, and then you just get over that because you're a person. So what if you just never got over that?
Yeah, like last night after the date, actually, so I went home and my ex-girlfriend did this comedy competition and like bombed hard, and I'm just watching it, and there's like a tiny little moment of like, oh, this is better than porn. I was like, you just straight took off to this right now. I was like, just like public failure. I was like, that's my new fetish. It's like, there you go. There you get it given last place. Fuck you.
Jeez, she got last place?
Yeah, something like that.
Wait,
that's
they graded
horrifying.
the comedy competition all the way
Yeah,
down. That's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. So, I can understand holding on to something.
Yeah, so imagine if you said, fuck it, I'm just going to be this.
Yeah.
Yeah, your life would be awful. But it's simpler. It is almost a simpler life.
I like how we're talking about like Amish people. No, it's not. Yeah, you're talking about it like it's a quiet, humble, quaint village of just. No, it's not. It's literally you wake up every day and you're like, fuck it, them.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so imagine that you take
this
away,
is what they do. They wake up. They write their little screeds about women. They
Can
look.
you imagine having a cup of coffee and putting your glasses on? It's like a little typewriter, and he's just like the gynosphere.
You sit and pet your cat, and then you open up your Google Doc and talk about how bitches run the world.
And then they find pictures of women that have aged and gotten uglier, like everyone. I don't know. That's not a simple life.
Okay.
That's a
So take away like the most extreme aspect of it.
You mean the
but
entire thing?
Men going their
Pretty
own
much
way
all
is
of it. Pretty
already
much all of it. But if you're just someone who's I'm not pro going
cutting
their own
off
way.
women
But
is
if you're
already
some
the
guy, you say,
extreme.
Look, I was not going to interact with half the population
because
that is. I mean, you're just removing people that you interact with. So it's like
Dude,
you're
it
almost,
would literally be harder though if you're at
You
a
think so?
restaurant and you have to avoid a
Definitely.
person. How insane do you wouldn't have any friends? Can you imagine if I was like, I literally don't talk to women. Like you're in a group of friends and you say that.
it's so
Like,
funny.
how you
It's
doing with
so
the breakup?
funny
You're
that
like,
it's
no, I
presented
actually
as a-
found it's really great. I don't even interact with them whatsoever now.
the fact that it's presented as a
cure.
choice,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
something that you are saying, I don't interact with. them.
not interacting with the group is, I would say, it's almost more extreme than killing them all.
I didn't say it's more. Well, it's
And it
extreme.
just in, like,
also, it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
it's
but
not.
no,
much.
By
Not
definition.
extreme. Not extreme in a sense of like what happens to the group, but like you've gone so far beyond like hating them, like killing, that you're just now not even interacting with them at all.
I would say that killing is still trumps not talking to somebody.
No, I'm gonna disagree with you there.
Yeah.
And say
I don't know.
I say ignoring women because you hate them and then killing them. Probably worse. I know.
Probably
I mean,
worse.
controversial
it's definitely
opinion on the
worse.
podcast, but I think killing women is
He
bad.
didn't-
I didn't say
he
it
didn't
wasn't
speak to him for
worse.
3 weeks, but at least he didn't do something crazy like wear their skin. You know what is it?
I didn't say it was worse, but like there's like a level that you've like just like gone beyond like.
You know, this defense is not going to work in court, right? Like
Yeah.
when they indict you, this is not going to.
Well, at least I didn't. You know.
I didn't.
Like, name another group that has just ignored a group completely.
Almost any group that's ever hated people.
Yeah.
No, they like killed them.
No, the
right?
first thing they did was they ignored them and
yeah.
then talked, and then they killed them.
No, they didn't ignore him.
There were laws in this country for like 200 years that made it legal for you to just ignore people.
Native Americans couldn't become citizens until the 1920s.
I'm just talking about like the fact that up until like 1956, I could walk in a store and I'd be like, no. That'd be our whole
but that's
interaction.
not ignoring it. Imagine walking into the store and nobody in the store actually interacting with you. Like they just treated you like a ghost.
But I feel like
that's
that's
horrific.
kind of my life right now. You know what I mean?
Because that's like that's
I mean, I feel like this is like the moment where Cole's still like, imagine you're a ghost and I just single tear comes from my eyes.
This just shows you
Yeah.
swiping through Tinder.
Yeah.
Imagine like a Twilight Zone episode.
It's like the John Lennon song, but it's just all dark things like imagine all the people saying they're busy this Friday. Woo-hoo.
you don't think that would be a step beyond if you weren't denied from a store, but you were just nobody there would even look at you or talk to you, or like you'd go up to the cashier and you'd
I
put
feel like
something
that
down.
at bars most of the time. I feel like these bartenders take like 20 minutes to get to me.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody else are doing something. They see me and they're like, he's not going to tip. And then I just spend like, all right, what do you want? A PBR after like 30 minutes of me waiting there.
Do you tip if you get a water at a bar?
I do if I have cash. You know what I hate is when cashiers, like you hand them a card, just like I swipe
and
my
they
own
give me the
card.
thing to, like,
I did
type it
work.
to,
I
like,
did more
tip
work
and
than
shit?
him because
Yeah,
I put
yeah,
the
yeah.
chip thing in,
Well,
and then they're
absolutely
like,
fucking
you
nice.
see the tip line, and I'm like, no. What the fuck are you talking about? Maybe I'll tip myself because I put the card. You did nothing. You're a machine. I would go to self checkout if I could. Didn't even kill it in conversation. There's like no service. I'm just supposed to pay you for standing here.
Yeah.
But why is it my
Yeah,
fucking job?
I'm gonna be. You've seen the signs at McDonald's. You got 30 years before you're not doing this anymore.
Years. You got 30 minutes, dude. This is right now.
Before you're not
What the fuck you
doing
talking
this
about?
shit.
You're gonna give me $2 extra. So, yeah. I mean,
You tip your Uber drivers?
huh?
Tip your Uber drivers?
I feel like
don't.
the Uber fines are pretty hefty, so I feel like they're doing all right. When I'm getting like a $25 pool, I'm like, you're fine.
You got a $25 pool?
I had to do that last night, man.
For what? Where?
Just go from downtown to like Oak Park.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
horrifying.
Don't leave from downtown. That's
They charged me. I didn't take it. It took me 2 hours to get home because I was downtown. It was raining on 4th of July, and it was a $45 Uber pool to get home.
Yeah.
Horrifying. So I mean,
all right. We'll
yeah.
probably cut that Uber stuff out. That's
No, that was just bad small talk. That was like, we're just going to complain about prices. Like, everyone's like, did you hear that sweat? They're like, it's really cold outside. We're all just quiet. Like, what the fuck?
That's funny. Make that the promo for the episode.
Man, I took a $45 Uber the other day. We're both just like, damn. That's the whole pod.
Bunch of emojis and shit, laughing emojis on Instagram.
Yeah.